Welcome to Newsbeat. We're live from our studios here at Northridge in Accra. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, here are stories making headlines today. The country commenced the annual Eid al-Fitr festival after a 30-day fasting. Workers described as unacceptable President Koforidua remark to see a restructured single-spine salary policy improve their condition of service as a response to a Mayday request for a 20% condition of service allowance. The Ghana Revenue Authority shares guidelines for reversal of wrongful deduction, gives clarity on charges. Details are up shortly. Stay with us. Happy Eid al-Fitr to our Muslim brothers and sisters once again. Let's begin from here, as there should be no end to negotiations. This is what a management and productivity expert says should exist between labor, employers, government and stakeholders with regards to labor unrest. In this feature, we recap a number of labor agitations in the country since 2021.
In our part of the world, the productivity challenge you have is more of behavioral, is the behavior of the labor, human beings, employees, management, and maybe union. Yes, the way we go about things. When there are grievances, when there are misunderstanding, instead of management and union and labor sitting down to resolve, sometimes everybody takes an entrenched position, and thereby leading to strikes and then unrest. And we lose a lot of time and hours. You can never go back to redeem the time. The best you could do is to labor and management decide to work overtime. Yes, and even that overtime also has its effect on the equipment and then the labor. So once we decide to go on strike, we are losing productivity. We are losing time. We are losing effort. We are losing everything. So it affects how much we produce in this country.
According to Chief Consultant and Management Development Trainer at the Management Development and Productivity Institute, John Mensah, strikes are inevitable, but so are the loss in productivity.
Ultimately, you get what you want. I believe that they should continue working whilst they negotiate. Now, some of us don't have even the opportunity to negotiate for anything, but we still work. But if sometimes we want to take the government or the authorities into ransom and then force them to get what we want, and then we cannot redeem the time, we cannot redeem what we have lost, then it's not in the best interest of all of us. Eventually we are all losers.
Research by a policy think tank on labor agitations and unrests in 2021 noted that there were a total of 32 threats and actual incidents of public disorder in the country. The study further classified reasons for the various actions broadly into three. Top on the list was salaries and conditions of service. This was over half, 18 out of 32, representing 56.25% of the incidents of public disorder. This was followed by socio-economic reasons. 1 out of every 5 incidents of public disorder in Ghana, that is 18.75%. Thirdly was the socio-political reason. The report stated that 1 out of every 4 incidents of public disorder in Ghana was as a result of socio-political reasons, with a total of 8 cases representing 25. Hashtag Fix the Country protest. This particular protest attracted a lot of eyeballs because of the posturing the police took when it came up. The demonstration was geared towards piling pressure on the government to address Ghana's numerous challenges, including youth unemployment, poor infrastructure, and high cost of living, amongst others. And when the police went ahead to secure an injunction against the planned protest, people were convinced the police were shielding the government. After a few battles in court, the Fix the Country campaigners were allowed to proceed with the demonstration. And so on the 4th of August 2021, the hashtag Fix the Country campaigners hit the street of Accra.
To stop corruption, we need to stop bribery, importing of cars. We are sick and tired of everything. Look, I run my own business. I need a land to start my own business. I'm ready to pay. I'm not even getting a land. But in my country, Chinese are buying land. Nigerians are buying land. Lebanese are buying land. Employing people. The constitution must be changed.
Let's talk about the famous e-levy. On 26th November 2021, thousands of protesters joined the hashtag Fix the Country demonstration to rally against the 2022 budget statement and economic policy of the government. According to the protesters, the budget as presented by the finance minister will not in any way alleviate the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian, describing it as a wicked budget.
We don't understand why we continue to complain and the president continues to fly in private jets and tell us that the small moment we have, the small remittances we get, we must give it to them to continue to enrich themselves. This is over our dead bodies.
Between January and November alone, fuel prices.
At the crack of dawn for the new year 2022, the Ghana Anaesthetists Association declared a nationwide strike following unaddressed concerns in their previous letters to the government over their title, Improved Conditions of Service, and the renewal of their licenses.
The law in Act 856 describes me as certified registered anesthetist in the law. It's Medical and Dental Council which is making an attempt to change the name to physician assistant anesthesia, which is not in the law. And they have their own reasons and they have their own interests.
It was the third successive industrial action in 3 years. Despite the pressure at the various surgical units, the anesthetists had said they wouldn't back down.
Since we do not have doctor anesthetists, doctors all over the country, as we have for the CRS, what is it that we can't do that even if there's a need, we cannot be taught to do it and do it then? But they necessarily want that. We should not be taught. They should have the knowledge. And then we should come and worship them.
Next was Teachers and Education Workers Union, TEU.
Members from the Ghana Education Service Management and 3 members from the union side. And we had to start work almost immediately. The GS management assured us that they were going to get a committee to start work tomorrow, but on condition that the union calls off the strike. But we said because we don't know yet the outcome of this technical committee, we cannot immediately call it off. We can only suspend the strike.
But a timely intervention by the Employment Ministry got them to rescind their decision. Their strike was suspended. Now, the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana also threatened to stay away from the classrooms if the government did not improve their working conditions. Still on the education front, the University of Ghana chapter of the University Teachers Association sent a strong signal to the government to strike on January 10. The strike was to protest the National Executive Committee's decision to accept the government Memorandum of Agreement proposing, among others, the payment of $1,600 research allowance to its members. Meanwhile, the National Union of Ghana Students, NUGS, welcomed the decision by the University Teachers Association of Ghana to embark on the indefinite strike. By the 3rd week of their strike, the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, and the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CETAG, treated an order by the National Labour Commission to immediately resume work with contempt. Meanwhile, a senior lecturer at the University of Education, Winneba, Samuel Ziga, has debunked the assertion that the strike by UTAG is illegal. The prolonged negotiations of UTAG with the National Labour Commission ended up in court, but an Accra High Court advised the University Teachers Association of Ghana and the National Labour Commission to settle their differences out of court, giving them until February 10 to engage stakeholders on a way out of the impasse. Aggrieved public sector workers effective Monday, January 11, started wearing all black to work, protesting the 7% increment in salary for public sector workers for the year 2022. The increment announced by the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Joyce Baah, replaces the 4% rise public sector workers enjoyed in 2021. On January 20, the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOGSAG, embarked on its nationwide strike to demand better working conditions. According to the association, government over the years continued to ignore their demands for improved conditions of service for its members. As such, leaders can no longer hold pressure from its members to resort to an industrial action. The Ghana Meteorological Agency in February 2022 justified its decision to embark on an indefinite strike over poor working conditions. The workers say the strike is aimed at drawing the government's attention to their plight. In April, there was also the SENSAC strike. The last group worth mentioning is the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, who have been on strike in demand of the controversial neutrality allowance.
Civil and Local Government Staff as a CLOGSAG, Ghana regrets that due to the recent unfortunate developments on the labor front, we are unable to collaborate with the TUC Ghana in the celebration of this year's May Day. The association will independently organize activities in all the 16 regions of the country, not the 10 regions, in commemoration of this important landmark in the annals of workers' struggle. The threat of nationwide strike by the TUC contradicts the 1st March 2020 GAW declaration, when some of the sections of the community stated, as referred, the 14th, improve coordination between Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the Ministry of Finance and all other relevant agencies to determine clearly annual wage baskets allowed for negotiations. This means that there's a limit to the quantum of money for negotiations, and this will be determined by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and then the Ministry of Finance. The declaration was signed by the TUC on the blind side of other unions. The TUC is throwing dust into the eyes of workers. Considering the period for 2023 salary negotiations, and that will be part of 2023 budget statement, these expectations are unattainable or unachievable per the declaration that the TUC signed.
According to the chief consultant on productivity, strike affects investor confidence.
One group go and then start, another group will come. And by the end of the year, you see a lot of groups going on demonstration, which is not in the best interest. It affects investment, it affects investor confidence in the economy. And it also affects employment, because if people are not coming to invest, what happens to the youth who are yet to be employed?
He recommends dialogue as the ultimate to resolving labor unrest.
I don't think it is always right that union should go on strike. I think it is not right that union must always, so if you don't give us ABCD, we'll lay down our tools. No, I don't think it's right. I think we should continue to negotiate, and there shouldn't be end to negotiation. And you cannot say that we have negotiated enough, so this is the time. No, negotiation is a continuous process. It's not a project. It's not something that you do and it comes. No, it's something that should continue and continue and continue.
Meanwhile, the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Carrera, says President Koforidua approach of using the single-spine salary structure to solve the problems of the union is not enough to address their concerns. We'll bring you that story in our subsequent bulletin. Let's boss on as the government spokesperson, Palgrave Wachidankwa, says e-levy is a forward-thinking policy which will aid in faster development of the country.
There is a refundable levy, which we will talk about, because really there are times that even peradventure, I'm sure that Madam Baah has experienced it, or yourself, when you send money mistakenly to a number, maybe a number that is supposed to end with 00 and then you make it 01. So you need to call your operator and tell them to refund the money. So in terms of the rollout that began yesterday, we noticed that there and it's very minute, persons that might have been charged wrongfully for making transactions below 100 Ghana cedis. I mean, the refund policy suggests that you're supposed to call your telecommunication company and they'll refund the money back into your account. The question is, was government really prepared in rolling out the implementation of the e-levy? And the answer is yes. How so? Government had stated that there's an aggregator of a platform called an API. Now, the API is the application programming interface, which is really a connector. It's a connector that connects with the banks. It's a connector that connects with the EMIs, and then everybody can be able to see whatever is happening in terms of the platform.
That's the API platform.
That's the API platform.
As of Friday, I had friends in the banks who were preparing to connect or interconnect with that of a government platform. Is that the API platform?
That's the API platform.
Okay.
So in terms of readiness and preparedness, 60 to 50% of PSPs were ready for implementation of e-levy, in terms of the fact that they were very ready to connect with the API of government.
PSP?
Yes, PSP.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, PSPs are the payment services providers.
Okay.
Yes, payment service providers, PSP. So, 50 to 60% were ready for the implementation. In terms of banks that were ready, about 23 banks on the platform, 40 to 50% of them, were ready for the implementation.
Meanwhile, aide to the former president, Joyce Baah, says the e-levy has so far not been implemented fairly and properly, adding that it is a lazy man's approach to generating revenue.
The only thing you can now go ahead to tax is what? People's personal monies in terms of their profits even after tax, their personal savings after tax, their personal savings after whatever entrepreneurial encounters they are in. You know, Annie, it is actually a very, 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 very cheap way of telling Ghanaians that we have put in place everything and there's a refund system. Annie, have you tried to get a refund and ask for it? Even when you've paid for a ticket?
I've tried it before.
Please, go and check.
Not in an e-levy dispensation.
There are penalties for even asking for the refund. There are penalties even for coming to ask for the refund at a certain, and it takes you a month even to process.
Ah, really?
Yes, in
penalties?
most cases. Yes. Most refunds attract a penalty depending on when you do it. So if you tell us that in terms of mobile money,
which mobile network? Well,
not on a mobile, but on average, when it comes to refunds on most other items, even on items that you purchase.
But you know, this refund is on.
Don't worry,
an electronic refund.
Zero it down to this facility, and couple that with the conversation that the GRA has just introduced about what the Driver Vehicle and License Authority should do, about what other government agencies that already take their invoices on these transactions should do. You know, it is a very, very clumsy system, except for a government that is desperate to introduce a tax by whatever means, to show up government coffers that are literally empty, totally wasted on unnecessary, needless expenditure.
Let's take you back to our earlier story where the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Carrera, says President Koforidua approach of using the single-spine salary structure to solve the problems of the union is not enough to address their concerns.
Being in labor relations for many, many years and having taken part in these processes, it is not just about giving a fiat that single spine will have to be restructured and therefore come the following day, following week, following month, it is restructured. There are processes to it. And I'm not seeing it to be done immediately, even though it can be done. But given the way the bureaucracy in our governance system, I'm not seeing it to be done. Apart from that, it is not only about single spine. You know, the Secretary General outlined a number of challenges facing the Ghanaian worker. And even pensions, you know, since pensions are very low, not because of the low wages alone. It's just because government has not been able to implement the current act, that is Act 766, on pensions properly, thereby making pensioners of today worse off than they would have been under the old pension act, that is PNDC law 247. You know, this has to be addressed. And His Excellency did indicate in 2020 that he was going to resolve the difference. As we speak now, 2020, 2021, 2022, it has already been resolved. Right. And unfortunately, we have not seen it budgeted for in the budget that has just been read. These are critical areas which the president needs to address. And right. So simply addressing the single spine alone is not enough to address all the problems that are.
Let's shift our focus to politics as former President John Dramani Mahama has called on NDC professionals to bring their expertise to bear on the party's development. Speaking at the Professionals Forum in the Ashanti region, he said the forum is better placed to guide the main opposition party into power come 2024. Addressing the opening session of the 4th Annual Summit of the NDC Professionals Forum at Edreso in the Ashanti region, former President John Mahama said the NDC party aspires to advance economic prosperity when given the mandate again in the next general elections. He charged participants to work assiduously in mobilizing grassroots support for a resounding victory in 2024 for the party.
We raise no tribal, ethnic, religious, or socio-economic barriers to membership and support of our party. We do not ask your family relation or your affiliation before we accept you in our party. And we do not countenance discrimination of any sort.
The General Secretary of the NDC, Asiedun Ketia, who delivered the keynote address, lauded the forum for the gains made within the short period of its existence, adding that the NDC will continue to recognize its critical roles in research and advocacy in the journey ahead.
The structure of our party puts the various party executives, particularly the constituency executives, in a position of conflict of interest when it comes to the time of electing branch executives.
On his part, the president of the NDC Professional Forum, Sam P. Yali, advised the members to take active part in the summit in order to help realize the purpose for which it was being organized.
We are professionals. We don't believe in hearsay. We have data to support that. Anytime the NDC decides to hold a presidential flag bearer race, Your Excellency John Mahama, you win hands down. It's on this note that I stand in front of you as the president of the NDC Professionals Forum to ask you, Your Excellency, if you have any doubt not to contest, please here and now change that doubt. Yes. We urge you to contest, and we will go into the trenches and make sure that you win the presidency of this country.
The three-day summit is designed to take stock of the forum's activities over the years and to build capacity of members to be more conversant with the current state of the party and help with its progression. New officers will be elected at the end of the summit to lead the forum. Still with the NDC, Director of Elections of the party, Elvis Afriye Ankra, has admonished the youth and communication wings of the party to work hard towards securing victory in the 2024 elections. That, he said, would also require that they avoid complacency and put personal interests aside to work as a unified team. He was speaking during a training and communication outreach capacity building project for members organized by the NDC Adentan Communications Bureau.
The Adentan constituency training and grassroots communication outreach saw in attendance the Member of Parliament for the Adentan constituency, Mohammed Ramadan, the national organizer, Joshua Kamba, the Director of Elections for the party, Elvis Afriye Ankra, and the constituency chairman, Alhaji Baba Zakaria. The training The training program forms part of an integrated capacity building project to enhance the communication skills of the party's communications wing within the constituency. Director of Elections of the party, Elvis Efiankra, and national organizer Joshua Akamba called for the youth of the party to remain strong at the grassroots level.
Your confidence is proportional to the hard work and strategies you put in. Elections are all about putting in the right mechanisms, strategy, hard work, and vigilance. You take all the factors into consideration. And it's not a one-size-fits-all. In modern electioneering, depending on even the environment, you tailor your message to fit the environment. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. So as the campaign evolves, we'll deploy messages that are relevant to the people.
We have some peculiar problems, and that is a problem that has been moving all the way from from 1992 all the way to 2020. Now, my leadership have decided that we will look at these problems and resolve them.
On his part, the Member of Parliament for the area, Mohammed Adama Ramadan, urged the youth wing to set targets for themselves at their branches and work towards achieving them for a resounding victory in the upcoming elections.
Niama Ebia Yan in the previous election here, Inkunimdia Mamma, going forward, no, the next elections, no, those things, no, would have corrected them and then Inkunimdia. I'm very confident in 2024. No, now Denta. NDC non-nationally, so NDC. I'm very sure about that.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Hello again. Hundreds of Muslims within the Amasama and Sonitra area located at GAW West municipality showed up today to participate in the Eid al-Fitr prayers session to climax the 30-day Ramadan fast.
As at 8:30 a.m., hundreds had gathered at Amasaman to observe the Eid prayers, which is a significant day in the Islamic calendar as it commemorates the official end of the 30-day Ramadan fast. In his sermon after the prayers, Imam of the mosque, Sheikh Ismaila Akono, urged Ghanaian Muslims to uphold the values and moral lessons learned throughout the fasting period.
The Ramadan is just like a school. So whatever you did during the month of Ramadan, it is expected that after you have graduated from that workshop, you should put it into practicality. It has to be seen in your life. If you've gone through a workshop, orientation for 30 days, you are transformed. You felt that you were close to Allah. Okay, you were generous, you were kind. Why should you go back to those bad iniquities again? You felt that spiritually you were uplifted. You felt some happiness in your heart. So why should you go back to those iniquities again? So it is very important that we remain steadfast, on the things that we study. Of course, we are human beings. Sometimes you cannot leave everything instantly, but gradually you can, intend to improve.
Some management committee members of the Masjid New Mosque also shared their experiences throughout the fasting period.
We give thanks to Almighty Allah that He has brought us this far. And then I thank everybody in this community. We pray for the president, his team. Yeah, they should do well. They should do well. I wish them all Barakat Sallah. For me, I have learned patience and endurance, and I think I will live with it for the rest of my life. We are all waiting for this day, and the day has come, and then we are all happy. Everybody should be happy, and then families, everybody to come together. You understand? That makes us one people. We should carry on with good deeds. The good deeds would bring us out as one people.
After Ramadan, we hope and pray that inshallah we'll continue with the lessons that we have learned from the Ramadan. We'll continue with the night prayers, we'll continue with a lot of voluntary prayers, we'll continue with a lot of patience. And then we'll continue a lot of alms giving to us. We have given a lot of alms during Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, so that at least that will keep us closer to Allah, inshallah, till the next Ramadan. To that we'll have another opportunity again, inshallah, to experience this wonderful period.
Ramadan and the Eid prayers also afford Muslims an opportunity to renew their spiritual vows with Almighty Allah and seek His favors in the coming years.
The Muslim community of English Yamanfro in the South municipality has ended their 30-day Ramadan fasting with a call on them to live in purity and eschew violence. Muslims have also been called upon to coexist with persons belonging to other religions in peace and harmony.
At a mass congregation to mark the end of the Ramadan fasting, Chief Imam of English Yamanfro, Sheikh Muhammad Ali, called on Muslims to eschew violence and other negative lifestyles and rather live in purity in order to have the fullness of blessings for taking part in the fasting. His spokesperson Abdulaziz Abubakar spoke to Metro News.
To the youth of Muslims, and he said, "Yansro otumfo nyankopon. San say nyame ohwe adwuma a woyɛ penyi o, woyɛ akola o, nyankopon we adwuma na ɔde bɛdan, ɔde bɛbu atan. Nti mendwen sɛ woyɛ akola etimi sum nyankopon emaniriye because nyankopon esi atremwada yawo nipa 7 a ono nyankopon edi omo behye ono ni konya na ase."
Joining the special service to mark the end of the fasting was the Chief of English Yamanfro, Nikwashigbolo the fourth, and his elders. He called on both Muslims and persons belonging to other religious faith to live in peace and harmony in order to promote development.
Muslim we are brothers. Do mi un mena mi un vie quotation e Quran. Njo akeke jengwene se gama kwe sariki ke imam. Ame ke mbuta ke ntest bi ama mi yeshia. Bashiru e ba ha bi test bi bo mu ke buta. Do mabon fiu.
The head of communication and public affairs of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Florence Asante, has educated the public on steps to take when wrongfully charged on the e-levy. Implementation of the e-levy started on 1st May 2022.
I think that we had a lot of meetings with our charging entities, or maybe they are more that are actually charging the tax. So we've had these discussions and they've told us that some of them have had some challenges. But be that as it may, we know that there is an avenue for redress. Once you've been charged wrongfully, there is going to be a reversal. It means that if you were not supposed to be charged a tax as per the applicable rules, once you notify them that you have been charged wrongly or you do not understand, the charge will be reversed or your money will be refunded back to you.
Business News is next. In business today, the Mobile Money Agents Association of Ghana is warning of a crisis if government does not ramp up education on the e-levy for the general public. Despite attempts by the Finance Ministry, the Ghana Revenue Authority and the media at raising awareness about the e-levy, it appears more needs to be done. Checks in parts of Accra revealed that panic withdrawals were ahead of the implementation of the electronic transaction e-levy had left some mobile money agents short of cash and worried. In an interview, General Secretary of the Mobile Money Agents Association of Ghana, Evans Otumfuo, charged government to rope in stakeholders like the agents to tell accurate information about the e-levy. The The Deputy Tourism Minister, Marco Kreku-Mante, has called on business leaders to be innovative in their operations and take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area. He made a call during the 5th Ghana Business Leaders Excellence Awards in Accra.
The 5th Ghana Business Leaders Excellence Awards ceremony was held by Top Brass Ghana. The rationale behind the scheme is to honor business Mongols who had distinguished themselves across the spectrum of economic activity and in the process made remarkable contributions to Ghana's development. The awards ceremony themed COVID-era national development through dynamic business leaderships saw several business leaders awarded for their impactful work over the years. Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Mark Kreku-Mante, whilst calling on business leaders to effectively train the youth to take after them, also charged them to be innovative to take advantage of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area initiative.
And now that we have African Continental Free Trade Area, we do not have an option than to take advantage of it. I mean, the market is big now. Because it is Africa, we can close most of the boundaries. We have the youth population to take advantage of again. And so that is why we are saying that if we do not have Mugus like this training some of the young ones or grooming them to become the entrepreneurs we want them to be able to compete with the other parts of the world, then we're in trouble. Because even if you have a big market called AFTA and your people or the youth are not equipped enough to compete, it's not good enough.
Best Trade Facilitation and Revenue Mobilization Award went to the Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Link Network Service Limited, Nick Danso.
This is a motivator. This confirms to us that people are watching and we are dedicated to the cause that has been given to us by the government, and we are not going to rest on our oars. We are deploying a number of modules for our second phase modules with the aim of enhancing what we have already done. The goal is to develop and ensure that we have a proper end-to-end system covering the entire supply chain when it comes to trade facilitation.
The business executives called on government to subsidize wide range of imported materials to enhance their businesses.
We provide the ISO 15189 service, which is accredited service. So what we want to do is to ensure that our patients, our clients are receiving the best of service. We do export a lot of our consumables, our reagents, our analyzers from outside, and we expect that the government comes to our aid and subsidize some of these things for us. That is our major challenge.
Top Brass Ghana was mandated by the National Planning Committee to organize the event within the context of Ghana's 60 years on anniversary program to commemorate the Diamond Jubilee of Ghana.
Newsbeat will be back after this break. Away from entertainment, poor roads, lack of potable water, toilet facilities, and a dilapidating school block are just a few challenges confronting a community known as Langma, a suburb of Koforidua in the GAW South municipality. To help alleviate their situation, a group of Ghanaian professionals who have lived or been educated outside Ghana have returned home to donate items to alleviate the plight of residents. Langma, a community in the GAW South municipality, has a population of about 9,800. For years, the community has been lacking basic amenities like potable water, toilet facilities, and good roads. Another major problem is the bad state of their school. The school block has been left in ruins. Half of the roof on the school building has fallen off, making it difficult for students to learn when it rains. Most of the doors and shutters on the building are either broken or rotten. The residents and students are deeply concerned.
Some of the students come from far distance. We ask that the government should come and fix our road and water crisis.
Langba MA Basic School. School.
We literally don't have a school.
The roofing of our school is started. We have no choice than to close school whenever it rains.
Class. Na ehu ni na afọ abra ye nsua de na yakufie.
The roofing of the school is very poor. The students are not able to sit in and learn. Now that they are on vacation, the government should come and fix before school reopens.
The chief of Langma, Niboy Norte Bako I, was worried about the poor state of the school building and pleaded with authorities to intervene before a tragedy occurred.
The government is not taking any care of our school, and we need them to come and finish the project, and then they roof the school for us, so that our children will stop suffering from that raining. When it rained, then the whole school is flooded off. The government should come to our aid before anything happens. We don't want that when some tragedy happens, then the government will come and say, oh, we are coming to support. No, we want their aid before anything happens.
In the Ghana Premier League match against Hearts of Oak and Dreams FC, Hearts beat them by 3-1 at the Cross Sports Stadium. Let's hear the reaction of both coaches after the game.
I think in the beginning we talked about confidence. I think you could see in the goals we conceded that actually we gave the goals away. 3 mistakes, we got punished. And when you are playing at this level, you cannot afford to make these mistakes. And in front of goal, you saw we lacked confidence. So I think generally on a balance of play, they kept most of the ball in their half. And when we got the ball, we couldn't move it quickly. And that's what we have to work on, how to move the ball quickly. And when we get to the third half, we've got to be patient in front of goal. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, it was a very nice game. Both teams played well. As you know, Dreams, they are tactically good, but as you said, 2 matches with 6 goals, that's what we expected. That's our hallmark, but it's quite unfortunately, it got a time that people didn't see our goal scoring. But with the advice that they give us, we have worked on.
That's all for now, but before we go and look again at our top stories. Muslims across the country commence the annual Eid al-Fitr festival after a 30-day fasting. Workers describe as unacceptable President Koforidua remark to see a restructured single-spine salary policy improve their conditions of service as a response to a May Day request for a 20% condition of service allowance. And the Ghana Revenue Authority shares guidelines for reversal of wrongful deductions, gives clarity on charges. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, thanks for watching. Bye for now.